Should we acknowledge that the WWE had good judgment at the Royal Rumble? Next. While we're still processing AJ Styles retiring, we've got a lot to say about the Royal Rumble, so topic number 1, rebuilding the Roman Empire as the OTC returns for the first time since War Games to just do his thing and win his second Royal Rumble. Well, what's there to say? It's been a long time since he's done much of anything of significance, and now he's back to try to reclaim his throne. Of all the things that happened last night, I kind of feel like this one needs to be talked about the least, but I'll try, because man, what an anticlimactic ending. Sleepers into a single spear to eliminate Gunther. Gunther was playing up his leg injury due to his earlier calf crushers, but he didn't play a role at all with that injury, as these top stars are apparently too big to work on a leg. Reigns also looks like a jerk for hitting Jay with a right, just for doing what Reigns wanted him to do. Then he eliminated both of his family members in Jay and Fatu. I'm glad I don't have to hear what the doc has to say about that, but Reigns, that just isn't cool, man. At least it looks like a near certain Reigns-Punk matchup, which is going to be pretty good and a lot better than Reigns versus Rhodes, number 3. So let's talk about some winners, and we have to start with Obafemi at number 1 with an amazing entrance and then leading with 5 eliminations by taking out entrants 2 through 6, which brought back the echoes of Brock Lesnar doing the same. And he also lasted 39 minutes, so that was certainly a big statement. We also had John Evans, and so much for the reports of WWE not making him a true superstar, as he lasted nearly 41 minutes and displayed his otherworldly athleticism over and over again. There were a few times I thought his slight frame would lead to some easy eliminations, but that was not the case, and certainly we got an amazing RKO out of nowhere on the attempted OG cutter, so that certainly deserves some props. And I also like that El Grande Americano showed up not once, but twice. I really like that Spider-Man point, and I wish this would have gone a little bit longer, but certainly glad to see both versions of old Americano back now, so I look forward to them stretching that out to WrestleMania. Now for the losers, Braun Breaker has to be number 1 here. Are masked men in hoodies the only thing that WWE knows how to do anymore? That was a total whiff, as it was right there for them to have 2 big men in Femi and Breaker go right head to head for the first couple minutes. And I actually thought this was a test to see who is actually going to be the top new guy, but not meant to be. Also Brock Lesnar, because there was a lot of staring between Lesnar and Femi, but so little action until Lesnar finally taunted Femi after he ducked a clothesline and then dumped him out when he wasn't looking. Well, I'm not sure that was helpful, nor was him really avoiding Dragunov's pain from his chops, only then to get eliminated during an elimination. Not so good either there. And then, of course, I didn't like the AAA stars. I guess Mr. Iguana was okay, since he seems to be the main star that we've had from those few shows, but La Parka showing up was absolutely terrible. I can't believe they picked him over someone from the NXT roster, particularly Joe Hendry, who everyone would know, or of course, Finn Balor getting the snub from Raw. So not very smart there, guys. But let's go to topic number 2, and the only way to live, as Liv finally does it in her 9th Rumble, which is still tied for first overall with Natty for being the only 2 to appear in every Rumble. Now, Liv was such an obvious choice here that she had an over 55% implied probability of winning, and of the women that appeared in this match, there was no way that she shouldn't be the winner. It came down to whether any Judgment Day member would turn on the other, and sure enough, Liv was the one to pull the trigger by tossing out Raquel right after Raquel Tejana bombed Rhea to the floor. It will be interesting to see how Raquel and Roxanne and even Balor take this news, and I'm sure something screwy has to happen with Liv and Raquel to cost Raquel the title on Raw. And that will probably send things into a death spiral for the Judgment Day, but congrats to Liv because she certainly deserved it. So the winners, we have to start with Lash Legend. She led all women with 5 eliminations, including last year's winner of Charlotte Flair. And she lasted almost 39 minutes, so every time Lash goes out there, she just looks like an absolute star. But she made the obvious big mistake by eliminating Io so that Rhea would get quick revenge on her. Now, Charlotte is our second winner, and props to her for being the iron person out of everyone in both Rumbles, but sadly she just missed an hour at 59 minutes and 49 seconds. Yeah, I have to admit that I thought Charlotte and Alexa were going to turn on each other, so to play that up in the first 90 seconds with some fake outs was a very cool twist. And when I thought Kiana was coming out at number 3, I thought my prediction of her being eliminated in record time would come true, but hey, Kiana was quite impressive as well, especially that Samoan drop on Nia. Then we have Sol Ruca. She was in the ring for almost 51 minutes and got a very impressive third place. I don't know how anyone doesn't love the Soul Snatcher, and how about that double one on Liv and Tiffy near the end? I guess she should have only picked up one of them to eliminate them, because trying it both at the same time ultimately cost her. Now Bayley had the what were you thinking moment of the night, as Sol should have been easily eliminated by her, while Sol was upside down with her hands on the mat. Now let's go to the losers, and Becky Lynch is first, but I guess if she wasn't going to win, they wanted to get her in and out of there quickly, and they succeeded with that, but I'm just not sure why. We did get a transaction from Maxine to Natty, but that was way too easy for Becky to be eliminated. And also a bit confusing, is Natty or Becky making a potential face turn here? Or are we just going to get a heel-heel matchup? And also, no interaction with Asuka at all was surprising. And speaking of Asuka, the Kabuki Warriors, not only did they not get that Becky interaction, Asuka and Kairi were the butt of the jokes yet again. Kairi not only eliminated Asuka, she had the shortest time in the ring of any woman, so of course she got yelled at for her transgressions. But Asuka was almost in there for 15 minutes and didn't do anything other than that brief moment with Io and Julia, but Kairi should have been in there as well. And lastly, no Bianca or AJ, because the biggest bummers who we did not get to see, and most notably Bianca, who I picked to win the whole thing, and it is now really concerning that she's still not able to perform as we approach 10 months since the last WrestleMania and 2 months until the next one. And the SmackDown Women's Division has struggled for most of the year due to that, and it seems like we might just be seeing that for the rest of the cycle now. And also, no AJ Lee was quite surprising. You'd think with Punk being there, she would have showed up as well to restart something with Becky, but I guess we're just going to have to keep on waiting. Topic number 3, thank you AJ. It is still hard to wrap my head around the fact that Styles is now retired. This all happened just way too quickly, but we have to take some solace in that this was the way that Styles wanted to go out, while he was still 100% phenomenal. And this match was pretty phenomenal, with Gunther mercilessly attacking Styles throughout the match, and Styles fighting as if everything depended on it, because it did. And Styles took so many chops and power bombs, but he kept fighting to the last minute. And he had multiple calf crushers, a 450 splash, and a Styles clash, and it was still not enough to put Gunther away. The only thing I am disappointed in here is that a standard phenomenal forearm did not connect, with Gunther catching one and yanking the rope to stop his final attempt. So when Gunther starts battering his opponents with those elbows during his many sleepers, you know it's just about to be over. And it took 2 rounds of those elbows this time, but it was great to see Styles definitely keep going when the ref wanted to ask him to stop earlier on. But it was the ending that a lot of people wanted with Cena, as Styles had to pass out instead of tap out. But in both cases it was the right decision, as Styles' story was that he didn't want to retire just yet, while Cena hadn't known that this was his last match no matter what. But if Styles put those gloves back on to have a meaning that he's going to wrestle elsewhere, I think we would all find that to be a phenomenal idea. And topic number 4, no more Super Sami, so the Saudi magic for Zayn comes to an end, stopping his win streak after starting 4-0 in Saudi Arabia. But unlike Gunther's injured leg at the Rumble, McIntyre did the right thing throughout this match, attacking Zayn's lower back over and over again after Zayn tweaked it on his early flip to the floor. That's just how you do it when you say the night before that you'll do anything to retain the title, in that very same vein like McIntyre did, landing 3 straight Future Shock DDTs, and I don't remember him ever doing more than 1 in a row before, so that was pretty smart. And he was also pretty brutal with that powerbomb through the announce table, but the one thing I did not like here was that they decided to have McIntyre throw Zayn back into the ring to eventually finish Zayn off. Now that just didn't make a lot of sense to me, because if he was going to do anything to win, that would have meant taking the easy route here and just letting the officials call off the match for a TKO, or just having Zayn get it counted out to get that win. So I guess that was a little bit off, but While they usually overdo finishers, I thought this one actually worked out pretty well. There weren't over necessary ones here, except maybe for that second one in the round of 2 at the very end to end the match. But that said, I think they played this well. I like the foot on the rope by Zayn early on. Certainly McIntyre should kick out of one haluva kick, but then of course McIntyre got that win. So all in all, pretty good match. That was the way it should go, but I'm sure the Saudi crowd was awfully sad at the end of not just this match, but also with Styles. So pretty rough way to go with those one-on-one matches. Well, it looks like I did not beat the 10 count yet again, but unlike AJ Styles, I get the chance to fight for another day after this count-out loss. And while my perfect streak ended with the Women's Royal Rumble, be sure to go right on over here and check out my betting Royal Rumble video to see how I did for the other 3 matches. So until next time, I am the SportsZu, and this has been Stop the 10 Count.